In the Jar Football Show, number 185. Listen, guys, I got you for 12 minutes today. I got you for 12 minutes. I have not stopped today. And this is not going to be a sob story here, but haven't eaten today. Loving every second of it. Busy as a June bug. Headed to jiu-jitsu in 11 minutes. That's how long you got me today. All right. It's nice to be busy. But today's football show, I'm Clark Dupree, by the way. Nice to meet you if you're here for the first time. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. We'll get down the road here. And one thing the fans of our show know is that we show up. So I don't see a reason for you not to hit that subscribe button. Today's feature discussion. First two rounds of March Madness. Semi-predictable how it went down. I dropped a take last week saying that if you believe NIL has changed college basketball, then shove it. On paper, they're right. In spirit, they're wrong. You had High Point upset Wisconsin. They get a buzzsaw in Arkansas in the second round. Darius Acuff absolutely balled, to my knowledge. I watched the game. Look, guys, I watch film. I don't look at stats. I had an inkling in my mind just then when I said Darius Acuff balled to confirm with the stats, but guess what? I watched the game, and film tells the story to me. Arkansas beats High Point convincingly. High Point had that kid, 99. I don't remember his name. He's a shorter white kid, not overwhelming stature or anything like that. And the commentators were absolutely buffing this kid. And then I saw a shooting motion. This is 99 for High Point. Whoever he is, hopefully he'd see this. Purest release I've seen in a long, long time. And I was wondering why the commentators were buffing him out a bit. You play this kid's release in slow motion. He was on our thumbnail for one episode last week. You put this kid's release on in slow motion. And it really is a thing of beauty. Number 99 from High Point. Shout out to that cat. You had Kansas go down in the second round at the hands of Rick Pitino's St. John's Johnnies. And I knew, man, I should have. Every game that you don't lay money on, you knew it for certain. I watched Kansas play in person 3 weeks ago. They came down here to Tempe, Arizona to play a 15-17 Arizona State Sun Devils team. And boy, did Kansas play bad. And they played bad with their presumed number one overall pick, Darren Peterson, who I don't think is going to be the number one pick anymore. I don't know what it looks like these days for kids to, what the timeline is for kids to decide when they're returning to school or not. Maybe the day before the draft, maybe the day after the draft. There's no rules anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if Darren Peterson didn't return to school. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Self sat Darren Peterson down at the old Kansas basketball facility or whatever they have and said, look, man, you're probably going to make more money here. You're probably going to have more fun. And Darius Acuff should definitely be getting drafted before you. That's the God's honest truth. I don't know much about the NBA anymore. I think the product is terrible. I think the product has suffered. But growing up in Lexington, Kentucky, watching John Calipari's teams and being a fan of those teams, it's hard not to watch who goes where in the NBA and how high you get drafted. Don't give a solitary shit. Don't give a Frenchman's fuck about what actually goes down in the NBA, but watching college kids, college careers, and then speculating on where they get drafted is something that is still fun to me, even though the NBA is the terrible product it is. Okay, so my take is that Darius Acuff should absolutely be the number one overall pick in the draft. You got to look at this Kentucky divorce with Coach Cal and know that Coach Cal got the better of it. You got to know. I don't care if you're the most delusional Kentucky basketball, Alabama football, and Dallas Cowboys fan in the world. LA Lakers fan too. Used to be Golden State Warriors. I don't care if you're the most delusional fan in the world. You have to understand at this point, if there's winners and there's losers, Calipari won the Kentucky divorce. Just let that sink in for a second. To watch Kentucky storm out of the gate against Iowa State this weekend. Storm out of the gate. Jump out to a big, big lead. I think they jumped out to a 12-point lead at one point. And then to completely and utterly crumble as the pressure mounted. You see something like that. And I think if Kentucky doesn't let Mark Pope go after a performance like that, you're no longer a serious program, guys. I understand for years and years and years, Cal's MO was to get guys drafted. He said it this season as Arkansas's coach. The name on the back of the jersey matters more because he wants kids to go out there, players to go out there and improve their lives through the game of basketball. I think through the years, a lot of Kentucky fans, myself included, question that sentiment because at the end of the day, Coach Cal challenges this idea that as the coach of any program, any sport, I mean, sports vary. Coach Cal challenges the idea of wins first, current team first as the head coach. You get hired as the head coach, and I gotta consolidate this point. I'm trying to figure out it. Coach Cal challenges the idea that when you get hired as a head coach somewhere, that your number one priority is wins and program championships, program excellence. But when you look and closer and try to define program excellence, whether it's a high school football program or college basketball program, how do you define that? How do you really define program excellence? Yes, wins. Yes, championships. Yes, sustained dominance. But also, let's say we're not talking about the pro level. The pro level is excluded because there's no higher level of that competition. High school, college. Is your job as a coach to also make sure that your players have prosperous lives and prosperous careers after they were at your program? I think Coach Cal brought that idea to the table And he's getting all this positive press. He's getting all this elite coach conversation. Look, here's what I think Kentucky should do. I think if you're Kentucky basketball, and let me preface this with the fact that if Mitch Barnhart's hand is in anything like I know it will be, it'll probably be doomed, because Mitch Barnhart's not the right type of thinker for this era of college athletics. He proved that when he for the first 2 years of NIL. But let's say he, for some hypothetical reason, he's out of the equation. I know he's walking in a couple, it's some span of time. I have no idea when Mitch Barnhart's actually retiring. Let's take him out of this. Here's what I would do if I were Kentucky. I would let Mark Pope go as soon as possible. But first, and I know this is a little effed up ethically, but before you fire Mark Pope, holler at Rick Pitino. His team is advancing the Sweet 16. He's busy. He's not going to entertain such a conversation at this time, which is what makes things a bit difficult for Kentucky. But at some point, you reach out to Rick Pitino. And you just drop a little inkling. You just kind of nonchalantly say, like, what do you think about coming back? Finishing this thing off right. Talking about his career. Let's say you get a positive response. Shit can Mark Pope that next minute. Let's get back to Kentucky not being a pretender superpower. Let's get back to that. Because now I find myself cheering on Cal in Arkansas, because at least he's building something that those folks can be proud of. And I have some semblance of connection to Coach Cal. I don't have any emotional connection to Kentucky basketball anymore, because it's not smart. I see my buddy Cody in the chat. I'm telling you, it's not smart right now to have an emotional connection. And loyalty is an incredible thing. I admire loyalty. I admire loyalty in sports fandom. But it gets to a point where, and I'm going through this with the Cincinnati Bengals right now, it gets to a point where you can no longer take the pain anymore, and you wonder, is this loyalty worth it at this point? If Kentucky's a serious program, they will, in no particular order, shit can Mark Pope and see how Rick Pitino feels about coming back to the Bluegrass. That's all I got today. I got to go to jiu-jitsu, guys. My fault for being late. We had some technical difficulties. The goddamn phone camera wasn't working. I had to reprogram all of it. It's been a hell of a day, but wouldn't trade it for the world. Make sure you guys subscribe to the goddamn channel. Hit the like button, follow on Twitter. Just do something that costs you nothing and helps me a little bit. I really appreciate it. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, around 6:30 Eastern. Just subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it, guys. All right? I'm late a lot of the time. That's why I hesitated. Okay. Speaking of, I'm going to be late to jiu-jitsu, but I do it all for you guys because I love you guys, and most importantly, I love talking about ball, which is why we're here every single weekday. All right, guys. Subscribe, follow, like. This is your last chance. I'm headed out.